Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Sunday live stream. I am joined as ever by my friend and co-host, Jerry V. Hall. Jerry, how are you doing today over in Costa Rica?
Oh, man, life is good. Life is good, Rob. Hello, everyone. Hope you had an incredible holiday and are staying safe and preparing yourself for the new year.
Yeah. And we got a lot. And yeah, exactly. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year. Stay safe, all that stuff. We got a lot of things to go over. We're going to talk about gold. We're going to talk about silver and who the heck keeps selling and dumping on us. And to do that, we need to figure out if this is smart money or dumb money. And thankfully, I got my friend Wes to come in from Smart Money Tracking to tell us exactly who it is. Is it the smarts or the dumbs or just the market that's the way it is? Wes, welcome to the show again.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, exactly. First of all, what time is it over there in Dubai?
In Dubai, it's 8:44. So I think we're quite a bit ahead of you guys. What time is it over there?
Well, in Puerto Rico, it's 12:44. Jerry, where are you? In Costa Rica, what you at?
With barely the crack of dawn. No, I'm just kidding. It's 10:44 a.m. here in Costa Rica.
I got to tell you, very difficult to get all these guys together, but we do it for you just to bring out some good information. So let's get into it, shall we? So first of all, what is the price of Bitcoin today? 87,000, I'm going to guess. That seems like it's always that same price. But if we take a look here at gold, which is, I think it's at its roughly all-time high. I don't know if you guys knew this, but this is from In Gold We Trust. And I was kind of blown away that in September, you had 2.3, excuse me. Gold was a $27 trillion market cap in September. October and November, they added, oh my God, they almost added $3 trillion. We're at 29 trillion, 811 billion, because this is in billions, not millions. And if we can take a look here, gold's market cap is 31.719 or 30, let's just say $32 trillion. Nvidia is 4.6, and gold and silver also hitting its all-time high at roughly $4.5 trillion by market cap. So, gentlemen, the question is not how this happened, but first of all, who's buying gold and silver? And how has this affected the market? And then Wes, since you're our guest for today, where do you see for like gold and silver? Do you invest in it at all? Or do you just hear the news like, hey, this is the best thing of all time, we need to get into gold and silver?
Yeah, I'm not personally an investor in gold. One of the main reasons for that is if you look at the price movements for gold, I mean, it went sideways and down for 10 years. And I don't think I'm capable of sitting for 10 years at either break even. Then obviously you're losing out to inflation. I would say the gold game is more of a hedge against inflation, and you tend to get a lot of banks accumulating. If you look at a lot of the buy pressure, it's been coming from China, it's been coming from the banking system. So it seems like there's a lot of concern about the financial system, especially when Trump came in and we're expecting to get, cuts from the debt, and then they added more to the debt, and the debt is scaling. So it seems like there's genuine concerns around the financial system. So personally, it's not for me. I would understand hedging in gold if I was at that level and I wanted to hedge against inflation and I had lots of cash sitting around. There is no better place for me, in my opinion, maybe to put some in silver and gold. I'm not personally at that level, and I know I wouldn't have been able to sit through Nvidia doing a 20x and Bitcoin doing 1,000x and Solana doing a 30x with my gold just going sideways for 10 years. I would have definitely sold at a loss and FOMO'd into the asset. So hopefully in the future I'll get at that level. But yeah, I think it's more of a whale game, and it's kind of embarrassing how far away we are from gold. I will say I did expect us to sit around at least that 10x to gold, and to watch it now and pushing up to 30 trillion is insane how far away we are from gold. And there's a serious problem there. I don't know what it is, but something's wrong, because we should have at least got closer to that 10x to gold.
Yep, well said. And then, as everybody, I forgot to say, like, for Wes, if you're not following Wes, it's some great information. There's a link in the description where you can follow him. But when Wes says, I'm not at that level, don't let him fool you. This guy's opening up this last video a $900,000 trade, and we've talked offline, and I can tell you this guy's doing some pretty big movements. So check out his channel, and you can figure out exactly what Wes is doing. And then just to go over this as far as like the sideways action, this is from 1973, the gold price, to today. You can just see that, first of all, the ETF for gold was roughly 2004, and it had a nice little run. And that's why everybody thought Bitcoin did the same thing, because it's going to have its ETF moment. But then after that, it declined quite precipitously, went sideways for, what is that, a decade? Yeah. And then it went up, and then sideways for 3 or 4 years, and then up again. So I just want to say congratulations to all the gold holders. Peter Schiff, you're annoying, but you were right on this last year. And that's what we have. Jerry, what do you think about this? Gold and silver. Do you own any? And do you think this is where some of the fun is coming?
When I learned about reapothication, I decided that gold wasn't going to be something that I was going to stick a lot of my investment money into. And what I've realized, and just through my observation, is that the primary buyers of gold have one thing in common, and that is, for the most part, it's they don't believe in the future of the dollar.
I like that.
And there may be some merit to that argument, right? But when you look at the Bank of China, you look at what Russia did with gold for a long time as they began this process of selling off their books, U.S. treasuries, and then replacing that in their own treasuries with gold. It became very clear that it was, for the most part, outside the U.S., gold was pretty much an anti-dollar trade. And,
right.
And there's a lot of reasons for those countries to do that. I understand the gold is far more favorable than the U.S. dollar, and for many reasons for those people. And I think you'll continue to see that as BRICS continues to gain ground, as other nations decide to join that kind of dollar neutral camp, or even the anti-dollar camp. You'll see gold continue to be purchased up as they liquidate assets like U.S. treasuries that they've been holding.
Yeah, I think that's the same thing. And you know what? I never understood why we didn't get along with gold bugs as much as possible, because we want the same. We not want the same thing, but we see the same thing. As long as the dollar continues to be debased and all fiat currency around the world, you need to get out of fiat. You need to get out of cash. You need to get out of euro. You need to get all the fiat that you possibly can and put those into appreciating assets, whatever those may be. So I never understood. I own all three of them. Actually, no. I own Bitcoin, gold, and silver, but that's in my Roth IRA account. So let's just move forward. Congratulations, gold bugs and silver. I mean, I even got a text from my brother this morning bragging about silver. I'm like, damn it, this is where this better be a top. But let's talk about who's selling now, Wes. This is why I wanted to get your opinion, and also everybody. Yesterday we had Ivan on Tech on, and he was talking about his trading series, and he was giving massive discounts for everybody who's watching. But then somebody asked me, hey, Rob, do you have any kind of I don't want to trade. I want to do some kind of like bots. Okay, I know a guy. His name's Wes, and he's got bot trading. And Wes is going to be giving away some lifetime deals today. So just stick around. We'll do that today, Wes. But the question I have for you, my man, is as such. We know that smart money's selling. You showed me this a long time ago, the smart money stablecoin indicator. Show us how this works and give us any insights, any data that you have about, is smart money selling, or is this all retail getting out of Bitcoin and digital assets and going into the next big thing, which would be predictive markets, gold, silver, AI plays?
Yeah, absolutely. It appears on chain that the smart money are starting to, have been selling aggressively this cycle, and we seem to be pushing to the upside here. If I'm just sharing my screen at the moment, I don't know if you can see this. I've got it completely zoomed out, so you can see the full screen there. Here you go. So typically what happens as you go into a bear market, a bull run, the smart money will start to sell. So kind of here you could say was kind of the peak of the Bitcoin move. And then you start to see them sell. Now, one thing I will say about the smart money, they are aggressive swing traders. So we do see these really aggressive moves to the upside and downside. And a lot of this tends to happen at key supports and resistances. For example, this cycle, we kind of hit that same broadening wedge resistance, and we saw the smart money take a lot of profit here, which helped us go into our short positions, and then they took a lot of long positions here when we came down to the bull run trend line. So we were seeing a lot of confluence of the smart money. You can see here where we have these aggressive swings to the upside, aggressive swings to the downside. They're basically buying at support and selling resistance, right? Classical trading. But now we start to break.
Sorry, real quick. Explain to people about what this means, because what is this tracking, this smart money stable coins? What is it? Is it tracking the smart wallets?
Yeah, so it's tracking the most profitable investors in crypto, as well as the large accounts like Wintermute, Galaxy Digital, which I can show you what those guys are doing as well next. Afterwards, I can show you literally what their trades are. You can see Wintermute here sitting on 154 million profit in the last year. So been absolutely killing it. So yeah, it's like a massive confluence of smart traders, and you don't have to have a lot of money to be a smart trader, right? I was labeled as a smart money trader at one point, and I only had $80,000 in that account. So you don't have to have loads of money. It can be consistently good traders, and then you get quite accurate data that, hey, if they're all selling at the same time, often the price tends to come down, and when they're all buying at the same time, often the price tends to go up. But I would say, if in doubt, zoom out. The trend clearly here is to the upside, right? They're getting out of the market. We're almost halfway now to the point where we potentially could be buying. And I know you and Ivan were talking about this time might be different in terms of the bear market. I agree with that, because we are way ahead of really where we should be in terms of accumulation, if we're following the smart money.
You know what gets me, and then you know, you can pick up from here. But when I see this, because when I think of smart money, and you talk about Galaxy Digital and all the ones, as they sell off and they keep it in stable coins, I think I'd be much more concerned if they like sold off and you would just see a flat line of stable coins and then just going right to cash. Because if they did that, then I'm like, okay, now we're cooked. But go ahead.
That's actually a perfect point, because something is changing this time with retail, right? Because for the first time in history, I love this chart, and we can actually say this time is different, because this red line indicates new wallets, so new wallets coming into Bitcoin, and then the gray line is the price, right? So it's very not the price is climbing to the upside. We're going into a bull run. Lots of retail come into the market, right? They buy green candles, and we can see the new wallets opening here, coming in, flooding into the market. Now, I wasn't using Glassnode at the time, but what a piece of data this is, because perfect opportunity to get out of the market when you see this parabolic candle. And then top of the market, we crash to the downside. We go into a bear market again. Last cycle, prices going to the upside. What do we see? Retail foaming in, buying green candles, buying in the top, aggressive bear market. Something changed this cycle. And as the price continued to go up, when we hit around 70K, which was the previous all-time high, we saw aggressive selling from everybody, from retail. And we haven't recovered from that. And even worse, we continue to trend down aggressively, even as the price went higher. We saw a lot of selling around 100K, big psychological number, makes sense. You could argue that this is potentially some people going into ETFs, and I've thought about the psychology of that, but you know,
I know that makes sense. Jerry, when you're taking a look at this, because this is different, I've never seen this. When you're taking a look at this, and it makes sense, right? In 2017, you see a bunch more wallets being created, Bitcoin price goes up. Then it drops down as the price goes down. And then in 2021, we have the big run up, more wallets. But now it's like we're going the opposite way. What does this mean to you, Jerry, when you're taking a look at this data?
Well, when I juxtapose the rise of your AMDs, NVIDIAs, Taiwan Semis, this AI play that we saw really start to really take hold at the end of 2023.
Yeah.
Right. It's real easy to see for me a correlation between assets in one industry being converted and applied to another, right? And I think you'll see a lot of this when you get into specific currency wallets, whether it be a Bitcoin wallet, a Cardano wallet, a Solana wallet, or what have you, once you get to RWAs on blockchains, right? As people are able to fractionalize and invest in the NVIDIAs, in the AMDs, in the Goldman Sachs with a digital wallet, boy, I can just imagine what Wes will do with that convergence of data, right? Because now all of a sudden you can play all of the markets in one industry, right? In one digital technological vertical.
Yeah,
this is going to be fun, and it's happening right now. Now, is it available to all of us in every form today? No, but you know, when you look at CRYPTOVERSE and you look at some of these other companies that have been really laying a lot of groundwork in that transition to real world assets on the blockchain, it's not that far away.
No, it's not that far away. And this is, I think this is the big thing, you know, about, you know, how much adoption are we going to get? How much is it going through? And then this is, OX Slice says it right. This chart doesn't include ETFs, which is exactly what Wes was talking about there. As far as like, yeah, it doesn't. And maybe that is the whole point. There is no ETFs. And then maybe, like, you know how we knew retail was coming because it was just crazy and frothy and we could see it, like Wes just pointed out. But then as time is going on, I think retail is sick of us, is sick of crypto, is sick of meme coins, is sick of the metaverse. Remember that? Good times. And and then they're just like, this is a ridiculous thing. And they're getting out. And I think the smart money, the institutions, the wealth funds, the hedge funds, oh, this is great. We're going to accumulate over time, and then we'll reintroduce when we want it to be. I'm not going to say it's manipulation because it's not. It's just people getting out. Anyhow, Wes, what else you got for us? That was a good one. I've never seen that before.
We got so much data. I'll try to zip through it as fast as possible.
Okay.
So this one, we won't go into too much detail, but look, looks very normal. Looks like a normal bear market. We are looking to come down to the blue zone. This was the bottom. This was the bottom. This was the bottom. So according to this kind of lines up with our smart money data that we are heading towards that bear market bottom. Another chart here looks very normal. Looks like the rest. Green, yellow, red, green, yellow, red. We're just starting to go into the yellow here. We've just come out of the green zone. Diminishing returns because we peaked blue here, slowly went into a little bit of blue, green. I guess eventually we probably won't see any green. We'll probably see it top in the yellow. CVD, wow. I like this one because this has nailed the bottom every cycle. Does it mean it's going to happen this again? Absolutely not. You know, anything's possible, but this is quite a nice target because it lines up with a lot of the price targets that people are looking at. The orange line seems to be creeping up towards that 50, 60K level. And we've heard that number chucked around. There's a lot of support there. It's kind of around the previous all-time high. So it's going to be interesting to see when these two meet and if it meets around that kind of support level. On-chain activity really looks, again, normal bear market, just activities just dropping and dropping. This is Solana in yellow. We can have a look at base, dead, just drop into the downside. People are slowing down with trading. Ethereum has been dead all cycle, which kind of makes sense for its price activity, right? It hasn't really had a bull run, and we can see that in the activity. Interestingly, Wintermute have been absolutely making a killing shorting, and we've been following them. Here you can see that when they started trading on Hyperliquid, and you can see here just profit short in the market, and you can see their P&L here, $154 million. So they're short Hyperliquid, they're short Bitcoin 20x, they're short Solana, they're short Ethereum. I like to believe that these guys, they're shorting everything. Yeah, you can see here they're shorting everything. They've been shorting for so long. We've just been following them down from like BTC 110K. Not just Wintermute. Look at this. Fazanra, $107 million realized profit. Look at their chart, just straight to the upside. Shorting everything. $98 million short on ETH. Hyperliquid, $30 million short. BTC, $25 million short.
Hey, Wes, isn't Wintermute the market maker for Binance?
They're the market maker for a lot of the space. You could argue most of the space.
And they're shorting everything.
They're shorting right now. They've been shorting for quite a while.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Not surprising. Okay. Keep going.
Galaxy.
I know what everybody in their mind is saying, and I'm saying the exact same thing. I can't say it out loud. This is a family-friendly show, but keep going, Wes. Keep going.
So that's pretty much it. And then again, if in doubt, zoom out. We seem to be following that broadening wedge. I'm not saying we're going to come down here, guys. This is just what happened last cycle.
Sure.
But yeah, everything looks kind of normal. I mean, I know we're looking around for ideas and what went wrong. It looks like a normal bull run into a bear market. I will say the problem now is gold is so far ahead of Bitcoin that you could argue that there could be a catch-up trade which could throw everyone off of the bear market trend. But yeah, we're going to have to see what happens to gold, right?
Good, I have to see. Great breakdown, Wes. That was fantastic, yet infuriating at the same time. So appreciate that, Jerry. What's your thoughts about that barrage of information we just got from our man Wes here?
You know, again, there is a tremendous amount of validity when you look at the largest pools of capital in any industry and follow what they're doing. And what Wes is doing with capturing data from our digital asset industry and putting it into a easily digestible format, right? I think is a real service to all of us. Now, the question is, how do we take action on that, right? What are the actionable steps that I can take? Now, we've talked, you and I, Rob, many times on these Sunday shows. I started liquidating my alts, I don't know, 4 months ago.
Okay.
First started with unbonding them in their particular stake pools and what have you, and then looking for exits once they are liquid and ready to be converted, right? And a lot of that conversion trade for me just went into Bitcoin. In this price range where we're at, I'm completely okay with putting money into Bitcoin. I don't, but then again, I'm a long-term thinker. I don't think in 6-month intervals or 12-month intervals. I'm thinking in 24 months, 70, 5 years, 10 years kind of time frames. And so that's kind of where I'm at with that. And so when I look at again, back to what Wes is presenting, when the smart money is telling you, hey, we see things structurally in the market that give us a greater indication that things are going to get worse before they get better, then I think it's worth listening to that and trying to understand the reasons why those elements of the market would be doing that, and then line them up to the other macro elements that justify it or debunk it. Right?
Yep. And that's, no, it makes sense. And because it's a thing, like you can see, everybody watching the video right now, is that you can see there's a difference, a split, a dichotomy between two different investors. Jerry's very, very long term. Wes is short to medium term. And you can see how things are going. So Wes, the next question goes back to you. How do you play this right now? Because I mean, we've got this nice video of you taking that $900,000 position, but how are you playing this in the short term and medium term? We'll go from there.
So trying to react to the market. Obviously, the market's so volatile. 1 minute Trump's doing this, next minute we've got tariffs, and trying to at the same time look at the macro news, look at the data. I analyze the news all day. What's going on in the macro? I'm not a macro expert, but I'm constantly watching it, and then trying to see, can I see confluence here? Can I see, oh, Wintermute have just opened a short, but Trump is telling us to buy. Eric Trump is saying buy Ethereum. But why are all the largest institutions just opening up massive short positions at the same time that Eric Trump's telling us to buy? Oh, maybe this is a setup, right? So yeah, trying to use the on-chain data to our advantage, which has proved, very well. I don't know if it's going to last forever. More and more people are starting to look on-chain. We were very early to analyzing the on-chain data. I was one of the first to Nansen probably 4 years ago, and we had an advantage. But now you'll see on socials, everyone is saying this whale just opened a trade. So yeah, I'm swing trading. I've already sold most of my crypto, so dollar cost averaged out. Weren't trying to time the market. I started to sell at 70k. I sold a lot more at 100k, and then I sold at 110k. And then we started to short the market as well around 110k. So I'm still in some short positions. I've taken a lot of profits off the table, and now I'm looking to buy. So I'm looking to buy the bear market, and timing the bottom is almost impossible. So I'll probably do the same strategy as we done this cycle. We just started to dollar cost average when Bitcoin looked like it was getting close to its targets. And obviously we can see, hopefully we'll be able to see in the bear market, we'll be able to see Wintermute closing their shorts and opening longs and buying assets, right? We'll be able to see Galaxy Digital closing their shorts. And that's going to be further confluence. So I think we've got 10 or 11 very strong indicators and tools that we use to try and do that. But again, we are playing a riskier game. Jerry's playing a smarter game where he can sleep easy at night, and Bitcoin's been going up for 14, 15 years. It's probably going to continue to go up over time. But I try to maximize my gains, and it's worked well in the first 2 cycles. Is it going to work in the third cycle? That's the game. That's the gamble I take personally.
It's a hell of a game. And that'll lead me to my last question. We'll get into a little Q&A and get everybody out of here, which is this. So Wes, you're going to be giving away some lifetime access to your site. How do you, first of all, how can we set this up correctly so people can get it? And the second thing is, can you show us what your SMC bot is, how it works, and what people can expect if they're so lucky to win? And we'll be drawing this live. I love doing live stuff. This is the best part.
Yeah, absolutely. So shall I share? Do you want me to share mine?
Share it, and then just tell me what they need, and I'll tell you the best way to get into people's hands. Okay,
cool. So we're giving away 3 lifetime memberships. So the current price of that for lifetime is $3,000. So you'll get the SMC bot. So on the screen, very messy chart because I'm zooming out. But just to wrap it up, it basically gives buy and sell signals on assets, so stocks, crypto, pretty much everything, even stable coins and currencies. It also tries to predict the top. So you can see here when you get yellow candles flash up on the SMC bot, it's kind of a sign that you might be having a drawdown, you might be having a pullback. Right. Likewise, when you get bright greens, so the first time we had a bright green on Solana actually flashed up here. So you can see around $12, and then we had another green candle flash up at $12, and then it happened to be the bottom. The buy signal is going to flash a little bit later, so it's going to be interesting to see where these flash this bear market, especially on Bitcoin and Ethereum and Solana. But then the buy signal should basically say, look, we're off to the races. The bull run's about to start. So really, really cool. And then you get access to the Discord as well. It's not just me in the Discord. So in January, I hired a professional leverage trader. This is his record so far. He's won every single month. So he's not finished this entire year on a loss. Considering how hard it's been to trade, he's absolutely smashed it. So I'm having to give him a bonus for the year because he's a better leverage trader than me, and he's killing it. So I'm better at spot buying and swing trading. So obviously I'm looking on chain and seeing what all the smart money are doing. So that's kind of my focus. So yeah, you get access to the Discord, you get access to him, the pro trader, me, my portfolio, my buy alerts. Obviously we haven't been doing a lot of buy alerts. There's not been a buy alert since January 2025. So we stopped buying altcoins and just flipped to selling and taking profits pretty much. Sell alerts when I'm selling crypto, my stocks, the stocks that I'm buying. Obviously, we got into quantum stocks, which done very well. We got into those back in January. Leverage trades, the leverage trades I'm taking, I do degen with leverage trades here and there. Here's the professional trader when you come into the Discord, so you'll see their section. We also track the smart money in real time. So if you scroll down here, you see how we were looking at Nansen. You can see smart money signals here. So when the smart money buy and sell assets, we get notified in real time. So you can see here, smart money, 8.31 cent Solana, which usually is to sell, right? And we can see what altcoins they're buying. It's been a really good way to find altcoins early. This is how we found AVNT early. This is how we found Aster early. We made a lot of money on both of those because they rallied quite a lot. So yeah, it's quite in depth. Like if you're new to Discord, it's going to be a bit overwhelming. But I would say just give it a few weeks, go through all the channels, and you'll soon pick it up. You know, it will become second nature after a while.
So how about this for the bot? What do people need to do when they download it?
Yeah, so it will work in your own trading view. So you don't even need a paid trading view. You can have a free trading view account, and I will add you to the bot. And then when you go into the trading view indicators, it will flash up in your favorites. and then you click on it, and then it will just it adapts, it snaps to the grid. So it's not complicated. Just literally whatever asset you want to look at. For example, we can click on SUI, then it will just snap to grid, and then it will start to give you signals. You don't have to do anything. It's really simple.
Gotcha. So what do people need to get access to? Just an email, username?
So if you pick your winners, if you send me your Discord name and your TradingView name, that's all I need. I can send you, Rob, or they can DM me on Twitter, and I can add them to the bot in the back end. So all I need is their TradingView name, and I can add them to the back end.
Let's do this. So they need an email and a TradingView name, right?
TradingView name and Discord name, just those two things.
How about this? Because, well, okay, I'll say like this: the first person to give me those two things in the chat, you're a winner. And I'm gonna guess that 99% of, I bet 90% plus of the people who are watching this don't have a TradingView account and probably don't have Discord either. So this will be interesting. Let's just go that, because if you have those two things, you're probably more of a trader, and that's it. Now, some of us are like more like me, you're like, and then most and other like Jerry, like, hey, I'm not going to use this. And for those, that's okay. We got another, what, 8 days of Christmas left to when we, the 12 days of Christmas. We're going to be giving away a bunch of other stuff. We're going to be giving away maybe some Cardano. We're going to be giving away some Coin Ledger access. We're also be giving away like a years-long subscription to Ben's website. So watch out for that. So if this isn't for you, it's okay. Just don't sign up. Let's see. So again, I need two things, right, Wes? I need TradingView and Discord.
TradingView and Discord, and you can reach out to me on X, or you can reach out to Rob. We'll probably need to add them to the back end, so if we can communicate with them somehow.
Okay. Well, how about this? I got a bunch of, I got a this, but that's not both things. I need both things.
And also, if you could write TV for TradingView and then Discord, so we can identify which one's which.
Okay, this is going to take a long time. No one has these.
Well, actually, I kind of did a little chat following, yeah. And it appears that Jay Davis was the first to put in his two names, followed by Nuker54 and then Dubsky.
Oh, okay.
I think Nuker is already in the Discord.
I'm
pretty sure he's already in.
Yeah, Nuker's in.
He might not have lifetime membership, so maybe he's trying to get lifetime, which is fair enough.
Okay, so Jay Davis, you are the wiener. Who was the next one, Jerry?
Nuker54 came in after Jay Davis with two names.
How about this one? This one looks close to me. Vlad?
That's actually very well. Vlad did a good job of documenting that.
So Wes, I got screenshots, so I'll send those to you. Oh, but we need to get them. Oh, perfect. You got the email. That's perfect.
Yeah, I tell you. Yeah, that's fine.
Well, how about this?
Perfect. Yeah, and they've put their email on there as well. Nice.
So the first one. Okay, so those are three winners. Our first one. Who was that, Jerry?
Jay Davis.
Davis, do me a favor. Stick an email in there so I can give it to Wes. And Ryan smartly says, don't dox your email address with your real names. That's why my email is iwilldumponYou@gmail.com. Let's see. Okay, so those are the three. Jerry, when they put that in, tell me so I can do a screenshot. But let's get into a little Q&A, and we'll get Wes out of here. It's getting late, but he's a young guy, so he can probably stays up late anyhow. Let's see. Leisure Real Estate says invest in daycare centers in Minnesota. That's a good one. Let's see. This is the joke. I don't know if you guys have been following what's going on with Minnesota and their fraud cases. Apparently, there's like billions of dollars being spent of taxpayer funds for these like child daycare centers that have no children.
Insane. Absolutely insane. They've been turning up to the buildings and there's just no one there. They've just been freeloading the money. Yeah,
I mean, they say that the crypto people are bad and they're all their meme coins. This one that looks like paltry to everything else. Mackie says it's going to help in my trading journey. I have to tell you, if you're looking for, because it's interesting how Wes laid that out and how, like yesterday, Ivan laid it out. It's the same, but there's a little bit of nuances to it. There's keys you can take away from everybody, and that's, I think, the important thing. Metalor says this: market is being manipulated by Wintermute, and still people play with leverage. Wes, when you do leverage? So that's one of my rules. I don't use leverage, but when you use it, like, are you doing like the 50, 100x craziness, or are you doing like just a simple 3, 5, 10?
So I don't do leverage with my own money. So first of all, I buy spot in the bear market, I start to take profits, and then I allocate 20% of my total gains into leverage trading. So if I lose that 20%, I'm out. I'm not putting any more in. That's my budget. Then I take smaller trades. So I take 0.5%, 1% trades, and I trade, depending on the situation, I'll do 40x. For example, President Trump, he won the election. I went 40x, $40,000, and it turned into $250,000. I wouldn't have made that much money if I didn't take 40x, but I was very sure that the price was going to 100K. So yeah, it depends on the situation. I've taken a 3x leverage trade the other day because I'm not too sure about it, right? I haven't got quite the confluence. So yeah, it's very situational, and I think you'll learn that over time, how much leverage to use in what situations, and managing your risk. And yeah,
that's pretty good. Okay, yeah, I remember that trade actually. It sounded pretty good.
Yeah, it wasn't without risk, but no risk, no story, Rob.
Yeah, and then Nuke says, can we delete our personal info now? Well, if you put in some information, I don't know if you can delete those from here. Oh, I can. How about this? As you guys are, actually, here's a topic. Discuss amongst yourselves between Jerry and Wes. Is there how much of the market is being manipulated by the bigger players, and how much of it is just a natural cycle of people just getting out and selling because they don't believe in crypto anymore? Jerry, I'll start with you.
Well,
I'm going to delete all this stuff.
I think that's an interesting question, and I think what we've kind of had basically a classroom session on today with Wes. For instance, with those two large companies that had about $150 million profit on their short sales this year, are their actions influencing Wes's behavior? I would say yes. I would say there are people who are doing influence the behavior of others, and therefore you can call that manipulation. And so technically, is market manipulation happening? Absolutely. Absolutely. Is it nefarious? I don't believe so. I don't believe so at all. I don't believe Wes taking information that he's able to grab off chain and monetizing that information. I don't believe that's negative, but it absolutely technically is manipulative. And so you have to understand what the context of the word. So do I believe there is nefarious insider trading? I believe there's some of that. Absolutely. I wouldn't shock me one bit that somebody in an inner circle somewhere is calling and talking to a friend at an inner circle of some other thing, and a deal is happening or a thing is happening. But the majority of the manipulation in the market, I believe, is as simple as somebody like Wes gathering information and devising action based off of the action of somebody else. It's very common.
And then Wes, before I get to you, everybody, I think most everybody's deleting their comments, which is because I keep getting an error for some and some I don't. So if you could just tell me, can you delete your comments? I believe you can. If you can, and it's your email, delete that quickly. All right. Wes, what did you think about that?
Yeah, I think you're always going to see manipulation in any market. I mean, look at Nancy Pelosi. Look at the times we've seen these bullish posts, and then the market's completely tanked the next day. We also see a new type of manipulation now, which is the Ethereum longs. You might remember recently a whale came out. I'm tracking his trade live. Actually, he came out and took a $600 million long on ETH. and it was all over the socials, because he was the insider who made $100 million from the Trump announcement. So he was now labeled as an insider, and he went and took a 600 million long, and then a lot of the Twitter accounts were saying the insiders just opened a long, and then what do retail do? They then go and copy that trader. He's not smart money. Just because he made one trade and made 100 million, it doesn't make him smart money, right? That's whale, in my opinion, whale manipulation. And what happened to that Ethereum shortly after it came crashing down, right? And everyone got liquidated. So there is, I would say there's definitely new types of manipulation. And when I'm tracking accounts, I try to track accounts that have been consistent over 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, etc., as opposed to these wallets. So be very careful. And just remember, everyone's here to make money. Just because they're telling you that Q4 is going to be incredible, they're also looking to exit. They're looking to take profits off the table, and that's the game. We're all here to make money at the end of the day, so don't try to judge them too much. But yeah, it's a ruthless game. It's a ruthless space, and people will tell you that it's going to be incredible as they're pressing the sell button.
I don't know what Wes is talking about. I'm here for the tech. Anyhow, so lastly, and let's get out of here, as I know we all got stuff to do. Jay Davis, Jerry, did we already get that email?
No. We matter of fact, Jay Davis, do it again so that Rob can do a screenshot.
Yeah, but I'm not going to list it on the screen. I'll just do a real quick one. And then as we're waiting, what happened to Hypercycle, Jerry?
I left.
There you go.
I left. Hypercycle's still in this kind of perpetual building loop, and yeah, I left to do my own thing. I still own all my nodes. I got a bunch of these node factories, and I'm hoping that they're able to follow through on their mission and vision, because I'd like to utilize those.
Sounds good to me. I mean, some of these things don't come to fruition. Everything's a business, like we talked about yesterday. I mean, you can have the best product with the best utility, with the best people, with the best marketing, and guess what? They still fail. If you take a look at the Small Business Administration, 55% of small businesses fail within 5 years. And that's being generous. I think it's even more than that, just they're underreported. So even though like we talk about some of these projects like they're going to do well, they don't always make it. And this is why like it's important to take profits. And it's something that we talk about in the rules, but I don't talk enough about. And I'm going to correct that moving forward. Wes, you had something to say? You're like, eh.
No, I agree. 100%. 100%.
And okay.
So
well, guys, this is
real quick. Dubsky, I did call your name because you were in the thing, but Rob had found some others who had the complete data. So no, you did not win this time, but you tuned into this episode, and just tuning into this episode makes you a winner.
Yeah. And Dubsky, didn't you win some Solana a couple of days ago? And I actually had to go back and give him some. So, and that's not from the foundation. That's from my vote. Anyhow, let's see. You guys can take off. I'll stick around for Jay Davis to put it in his email and go from there. Anyhow, you guys can find Jerry over on X. There's a link in the description for that. And then also you can follow Wes. I put in his YouTube channel. That's it for today. So everybody, thanks so much for stopping by. We do appreciate it. And we'll see you guys on the next one. And then Jay Davis says, I keep trying and it deletes it. All right, Jay. Well, if you follow me on X, that'll be the way to do it. Anyhow, that's it for today, everybody. See you guys in the next one.